Hello, folks, and welcome along to All About Racing Live. Here we are with WWR in the Lauda tier. Let's see, we're in season 5, round 5 here at Spa here today. This lovely circuit with just over 7 kilometres here, 7.004. Then in miles, that's 4.352. We've got 19 turns here, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. We'll have 22 laps here. We've got 2 DRS zones, and the tyres that we're going to be using today are the soft C4 tyres, the medium C3, and the hard C2 compound. Right now, we're going to have a little look at the drivers' standings right now. We've got Onsu up there in first place right now on 43 points. Wait, yeah. So Onsu is on 43 points in first place right now. And we've got Mr. Formula 1 on 34 behind him, tying with Lewis for that second place. Then we've got Mel Dave in fourth. XD Pro is in fifth. Mel Dave had 28 points. XD Pro has got 26 points. Archie with 26 points also. And same with Czech there, and all battling out for that fifth place. 1 point behind that is Atsu with 25 points in eighth place. Chuck Norris on 22 points, same with I Fishers. Then we've got Tiny on 21 in 11th, Ricky Maru on 19 in 12th, and Ryanair on 18, just behind that in 13th. King 5 Panda is on 17 points in 14th, and we've got NXR Apple on 16 points in 15th. Have a little quick look at the team constructor standings right now. We've got Williams on 87 points right now in first place. Sauber are in second with 56 points, and third is Ferrari on 47 points. 1 point behind Ferrari is McLaren on 46, and even 1 more point behind that is Red Bull in fifth with 45 points, and 2 points behind that in sixth is 43 points for the V-car. But then we've got Mercedes in seventh on 32 points. Then we've got Haas with 28 points in 8th, 2 points behind that on 26 is Alpine in 9th, and we've got 8 points for the Aston Martin outfit. And so we've got Trucker, who's on a lap right now on them soft compound tyres, then C4 coming up into La Source there. Takes it a little bit deep there, runs it right out there onto the gravel, a new section there as of recently, and now down into the absolutely spectacular section of turns 2, 3 and 4 of Eau Rouge and Radion, and now all the way down the Camel Straight down into turn 5 of the Lacombe section. Hard braking there, and then around 6 and 7 the final of the Lacombe section, and then down the hill into Beau Rivage, this off camber right hand corner. It does seem to pull you away on the exit, and then we've got the Jackie X corner there as turn 9, and then we've got Poo on this double left-hander, and he just steps a toe out of line there and ends up invalidating his lap time. So he's going to have to go again if he's going to have any hope of getting out of the first qualifying session. We'll go and see who is up next roughly. Go down to Floyd Pink as they're just coming into Beau Rivage now, and then down into Jackie X corner, formerly known as No Name. And then there was something else I just heard about it recently, being like a commentator sort of bit, because I can't remember what it was. I was watching it earlier on, but anyway, yeah, it was the only corner that the people were able to see there. Peter, cheers for comms. Yep, you're welcome, Floydie, and welcome along into the chat also. All you folks that are watching out there, thanks for tuning in. Right now, we've got Pink Floyd here on the way down into the Blanchimont, and then we've got the bus stop chicane just after that. The final couple of corners of turn 18 and 19. We've had XD Pro already put in the time of a 142.913, and then the other Alpine of 244 on 144.924, and then Floyd Pink just goes and splits them to a 144.282. Good enough for second place right now. Who's that just seen? I Fisher's 143.841. We'll see who's going to be up next. Mel Dave just coming into Campos, and then into Folfieri straight all the way down to this Blanchimont. You're going to be flat out here for nearly 20 seconds, pretty much, as they run around there flat out. He's on an out lap. That's odd one. He must have done a double warm-up lap. I didn't notice that there, unfortunately. We'll say absolutely lovely track there. Have you folks out there watched the qualifying just yet? If so, we've seen there today it was absolutely hammering it down, and we ended up seeing the F2 race actually get delayed and postponed. Unsure if they managed to get it underway after qualifying, but hopefully they did manage to get it done. Mel Dave putting in a time of 147. That was his double out lap. Seen check there in the McLaren, the 144.803. Steve in the Ferrari coming across the line, goes third, the 143.901. We've got Mr. Formula on a lap, now just heading down into the Eau Rouge, and then up the hill to Radion. Place where we've seen Lance Stroll actually bottle it and smash the car up earlier on in practice 3, I think. Was it practice 3? Practice 1. It was one of them. But yeah, and absolutely ended up smashing the car up. Yeah, it was practice 3, sorry. Was it been absolutely hammering it down. Who's that? That just put in a time there. I think that was King 5 Panda there. 144.584. So all those who are in the chat today, how's everybody been getting on? Everything been all good? Going forward with Mr. Formula 1 here, as he's just coming around Fania and now Campos. And the sector 2 there, 116.330 up to now. Seen there the McLaren car of Czech getting out the way there. Now around this flat out left-hander of Blanchimont. So looking up right now, just had a wee notice of the clouds. They are looking like they're a little bit darker over there. So wondering if we're going to be possibly getting a smidge of rain in the closing stages of qualifying. Mr. Formula 1 goes 8th with a 144.897. Oh, and he gets bumped down there. I think that was Lewis putting in a time there. And who's that? Is that Mel Dave also? No. Lewis, and it was Onsu there that just put in a lap. So, Onsu 144.218. And looking at XD Pro, absolutely belter of a time there. The only person in the 142s right now. Just seen Lewis 144.4 there in 7th place. So going further down, we've got G here on a lap. We'll just sit on board there and listen to the roar of that Ferrari engine in that Sauber. Oh, you see, he's actually like used up all his deployment there before he even gets to Blanchimont. That's going to really hurt him there on the closing sector. Around the last couple of corners there. Now to the line, puts in a 144.409. Oh, and looking how close Mel Dave Lewis and Jay actually are. It's only like 14,000. 13 thousandths of a second, my mistake. So really close between them. Buckle unfortunately has invalidated their lap. The only person out on track besides Stringy, who's on an out lap right now, is man like Ray, who is still yet to set a time. Getting right close to that gravel there at the Jackie X corner. And he just steps a toe out at Puon there and invalidates their lap. I'm not sure if they realise that right now, as they've still got that hot lap button engaged. Let's see, Bucko on a lap is going to be the next driver to set a lap, I think. Or is that going to be... Oh, nope, it's Operator who's on an out lap right now. We've got Chuck Norris, who's currently sitting down in 10th, just coming up turns 18 and 19. The final chicane. Oh, he's hopping it in the pits. Oh, and Bucko spins it out at the last corner there. Getting a bit too much on the throttle there and almost puts it into the wall. And that would have been them out of qualifying. Well, fortunately enough, managing to keep it out of the wall. The Red Bull of Stringy just coming down into Beau Rivage. Into turn 9 of Jackie X there. Now down into Puon, keeping it to the right hand side, stretching over that curb there on the right, and then hitting that other curb on the right. Being careful at the second stage of Puon, you don't want to clip that inside curb, that will just send your car spiralling off into the barrier. He manages to get that done nicely, and ooh, actually lucky he didn't invalidate there, coming around Campos there. Now using up some of that battery there. I've got to be careful that he's not using up too much deployment though. Steve is retired from the session. Oh, and that's actually out of Beau Rivage there. Oh, so is Steve actually retired in the pit? I think he is. I just seen, must have been the other Ferrari there of Lewis out and couldn't see it. And I think Jay has retired in the pit lane also. I think you just see a little pixel of the lime green there. Just poking out in the pit lane. Trucker's still to set a time yet. We've seen Stringy there put in a 145.044. It's good enough for 14th place. He's going to need to do another lap, but it's going to be tough. And in order to get another lap done, he's going to have to just go again and just take care with the fuel and the tyres. With a Haas just coming right up the side of him there. I think that would have been King 5 Panda, who is on a lap. Just coming around Jackie X now. Go with the Haas of Panda here. We'll just see what time the Haas is going to be able to do. As we're seeing these times get quicker and quicker here. Has Jay done a silly here and ended up retiring too early? Or was he just not able to get another lap time in? Currently at 144.409. The time to beat right now is a 145.126. You see how close Buckle and Operator are right now. And it's only settled by a 6,000th of a second difference between the McLaren and the RB. The difference between being in and being out of the second stage of qualifying. Now King Panda's going to be on the lap. What we'll do is we'll go down to who's going to be next. It's going to be Trucker in that Mercedes, just coming around Blanchimont, and it's going to be the next driver to set a lap. It's going to be a one and done pretty much, as he didn't manage to set a time, ended up validating earlier. Same with Man Like Ray, the other driver who's still yet to set a time. And Trucker managing to make it smoothly around the final chicane, puts it 15th. That's going to be a tough one. He's going to be hoping that Man Like Ray isn't going to be able to get any better. Same with Bucko and Bexon Boy, because if that happens, then he's going to be out of qualifying. He's not going to be able to get another lap time in. Aston Martin now coming across the line, goes 12th, and that's going to put a Trucker in the elimination zone. He's not going to have enough battery to be able to get around again and finish his lap and get a competitive time in. And as he left it a bit too late, we're seeing yellow flags here, and I think that may be, is that no, that's not Operator, that's Check actually out of fuel there. And Bexon Boy not able to get across the line there to set a time. Unfortunately, leaving it just that little too late. And now it comes across the line. Unfortunately, not going to be improving and stays in P19. And Trucker not going to be able to get a lap in right now. And Stringy is going to be through. And same with Manuel Gray and the rest of them from P9 down to 15th. But right now, Stringy still on a lap. Still believes he could be eliminated right now. Coming to the line in that Red Bull. Let's see what time he's going to be able to put on. And he improves, but not enough to move up. 144.838. And I think that's going to basically be the end. Oh, the RB into the wall at Campos there. So it's not going to really matter for Mr. Formula 1. He's going to be able to get through to the next stage of qualifying anyway. Fisher's in that Red Bull, just crossing the line to finish their lap. Lewis just coming into the pits now. There we go, we've got Mr. Formula 1 just coming into the pit lane now as well. We've only got one car out on track right now, and that's 2 for them. Hey there, welcome along to the channel there. Right now we're just at the end of Q1. Just waiting for 2 for them to get back around and either into the pit lane or across the line. So we ended up seeing only 142 time set by XD Pro. The driver that managed to get down into the 142s. Now we're just waiting for 2-4 to get wheeled back into their garage. And there you have it, folks. That is the end of the first of 3 qualifying sessions. We're just over 18 minutes into qualifying. Still got another little bit to go. XD Pro getting in that fastest lap, 142.913. Then we've got I Fishers in second, Lewis third. Fourth was Steve, then we had Czech and King 5 Panda in fifth and sixth. Seventh was Onsu, then Mr. Formula 1 followed behind that. Floyd in ninth, Mel Dave 10th, and we had Jay in 11th, 2-4 in 12th. 13th was Manlike Ray and Chuck Norris, then Stringy rounded out the drivers who are going to be moving on to the next stage of qualifying. Trucker, though, Bucko, Operator and Bexon Boy will all be starting in 16th, 17th, 18th and 19th and will not be moving on to the next stage of qualifying. Now, time for the second stage of qualifying to get underway. We're going to be having 15 minutes, 15 drivers all battling it out to be in the top 10 and to get into the next stage of qualifying and to claim that pole position, the closest to turn 1. And they're going to have that inside line going into turn 1. As you can just see on the left hand side of your screen, we've got that first place grid box, the closest to the line. Oh, we've seen a few cars just coming out right there real quick. And I think it's going to be a Haas of King 5 Panda, yep. And they're going to be the first ones out on track. We'll say absolutely spectacular track this is. We've got a couple of drivers actually jumping out onto the mediums in Q2. Did they know that the rule has changed? Hopefully. But yeah, I remember back a few years ago. A year ago they had where the tyres the top 10 that moved on to the third stage of qualifying, the laps that they set on the fastest lap in Q2, they were good enough to get them into Q3. They end up starting the race on them tyres. So it was a bit different whether you actually managed to be able to set a time on the medium tyres, or if you had to go out again and try and have to jump onto them soft compound tyres at the end. It was Floyd ended up getting a penalty for colliding with, was that Stringy? Is Stringy all good, got any damage? Nope, it doesn't seem like it. So Floyd, you want to tell me a little of what happened just there? As that was it's not something you usually see in qualifying, as penalties getting given out. But let us know. As if you're still in the chat. King 5 Panda now, just out of La Source, down the hill, down into Eau Rouge before you get right uphill, and you could hear the car scraping across the ground as he goes up to Radion now along the Kemmel straight. He's getting ready to hammer it down into the braking zone for the Lacombe. Left, right, left, right. Now down into turn 8 of Beau Rivage, formerly known as Brussels. being careful there to not step it out into the gravel. Now we've seen a few drivers here invalidating the Q1. King Pai Panda managing to do it quite nicely. Doesn't use up all the track. Is that going to be the difference between making Q3 and not making Q3? Now around Campos, turn 14 into 15 on to Polvieri. And all the way down here around Blanchimont. Turn 17 there, flat out using that curb there on the exit, and now braking just at that 100 metre board into turn 18 and 19. The final couple of corners, now being careful on the throttle as you go to the line of 144.689. Is that going to be enough to get them through into the next stage of qualifying? We're going to have to find out. We've got the two Alpines, I think that is. Is it the Alpines? No. Oh, it was the two Alpines of 2 Forum and XD Pro. XD Pro a little bit off their time in Q1. But of course, I think that's because they're on the mediums. J 143.668 and is third now. Steve at 143.218 puts that in the first place. Now we've just seen Onsu cross the line of 143.995, good enough for fifth place at the moment. We've got man like Greg invalidated their lap in qualifying 1, puts it P6 for now, 144.554. Mr. Formula 1 jumping into the pits. That's unusual. Maybe just realising that the medium tyres aren't providing the grip that was that's necessary. Right, so 2 cars and saw one in the map. Big bad for me. I have apologies. I do not understand. There are 2 cars in the way. I'm unsure. But we've seen the driver that you did collide with, Stringy, just coming around the Oacombe. You've seen Mel Dave putting a time of 143.920, and that puts them into P5 for the time being. Who's going to be next across the line? It's not going to be Lewis. It's going to be Czech. He's going to be the next driver on a lap. Now flat out. Next time they're going to be braking. It's going to be going into turn 18, the final 2 corners. All right. That's yeah, that's unusual. So it's a bit of a pain, to be honest. But there we go. Check 143.851. These things happen in racing, and it's just one of them. Really, that's Stringy there, 144.708, good enough for 10th, just right on the cusp. But with them, we've got Chuck Norris and Mr. Formula 1, who are going to be getting ready to set a time. Mr. Formula 1, where are they right now? They've just not long came out of the garage. Chuck Norris, though, in that green silver, just came out of a source there. Now downhill, using that Ferrari power to power that car up into Radion. And now there's a Ferrari just ahead. I think that is Lewis, actually. Yep, it's Lewis who has invalidated their lap time. Steve's retiring from the second stage of qualifying, thinking their time is going to be enough. 143.218, and with pace like that, I think it most likely will be. Now Chuck Norris, the Ferrari of Lewis, moving to the left hand side and getting out the way. Now number 88, Silver, coming around Fania and into Campos now. to the end of sector 2. 116 there. Now we've got 6 minutes 45 on the clock. It's going to be enough for them to get another lap in anyway. After this, it's only good enough for 11th place there. Just under 500ths of a second off of Stringy there. Got Mr. Formula 1 who's just started their lap a moment ago. Now down into Lacombe. So G6 folks. See how this RB is going to be done into sector 2 and sector 3 there. 1:15 there. Could this be on for the quickest time in qualifying? We'll have to soon find out, as he's just rounding Blanchimont now of turn 17, sorry. Then into turn 18 now. And he just invalidates there, taking too much curb there on the end, Ray. And I think that would have been a really good time there, but unfortunately ends up invalidating just there at the end. It's always so painful, and I'm pretty surprised he didn't jump into the pits there, unless he's just going for a cool down lap and then going again. So Mr. Formula 1 not managing to get a time in, unfortunately. It's going to have to start again. Man like right in Aston Martin. And just stepping a toe out of Blanchimont there. Just not getting that line right. And ends up invalidating their time, jumping into the pits quickly for a quick change of tyres, I'm going to assume. Chuck Norris is just getting back to the pits. King Fly Panda will be, I think they might be getting ready for a lap soon. I think Mr. Formula 1 is going to be the next one to set a lap. Because Chuck Norris and King Fly Panda aren't going fast at the moment. So everyone out there on an out lap. It's going to be up next. Onsu is going to be our next driver, our championship leader right now. And that Williams. Now down into turn 1 of La Source. Keeping it in nice and tight there. Using that curb on the exit, being careful not to step a toe over that red curb on the far left. Now up the hill through Radion and up into Rio Rouge and up into Radion. DRS is going to be wide open here as a heron down this Kemmel straight down into Lacombe, and light braking there just after that 100 metre board. Excellent control there around Lacombe down into Bourevage, currently sitting in P18 at 143.995. That is what the Williams driver has done previously. And we'll check and see. Nope, that was on the soft tyres, so it's going to be a tough one, I think, for this for the Williams driver here. He'll be moving his teammate down into 8th. We'll soon find out. He's just coming to sector 3 now. See how good he is on his time. He's up by just over a tenth, so just under a tenth. So it's going to be a tough one. He's going to be moving up past his teammate up to now, but that could all change. Now into the final corners. Keeping it within track limits there on the exit. Careful on the throttle. Goes 4th. Absolute stormer of a time in the last sector, but Mr. Formula 1 at 143.112 puts that into 1st place right now. Who else is up next? Lewis there just finishing up, putting in a time. We've got Mel Dave, who's currently sitting in P10 in the danger zone, and they're just going on a lap now. Moving further down, Stringy is just getting ready to start a lap also. Must have been just draining some of that fuel in order to get a good lap in. Just waiting for that Red Bull to get past the other Red Bull of Fisher's. Now he's going to have to start getting a move on because there's not much time left on the clock. We've only got 24 seconds left. It's not going to take that long to get around here, but well, if he's struggling to get around turn 18 like that, and there we go. I think it's going to be the only driver. Yep, it's going to be the only driver to set a lap now. There's going to be no more that's going to be able to cross the line. There's a few drivers out on track all setting laps. We've got Czech right now, just a smidge away from the cusp of getting eliminated. Coming into the final 2 corners now. See what the time the McLaren is going to be able to put on the board. And it's not going to be a good time. He's sitting at a 1:37 there, I think it was. Oh no, oh yeah, 1:43. Does improve, goes up to 6th place. Who is going to be next up? It's going to be XD Pro. First in Q1 with a 1:42.9. Currently sitting with a 1:43.450. Are they going to be able to beat their time? Yes, they are. A 1:42.645, 8 tenths quicker than their previous time. 3 tenths quicker than their time in Q1. Fisher's on a lap. I think we've got Manuel Gray, the last one to cross the line. Oh, and seen that tail of that car almost flick right around. Manuel Gray going 10th, could be under threat here from Stringy, who's in that Red Bull. We've got the other Red Bull of I Fisher's just coming to the line right now. Are they going to be improving on the time? Yes, they do. 1:42.775. Only the second driver to get into the 1:42s, and then we've got Stringy in that Red Bull. And they move up into 9th place, and Manuel Gray is eliminated from qualifying. And there we have it, folks. That is the end of Q2. I think we're just waiting for Mr. Formula 1 getting wheeled in, and there we go. There we have it, folks. The end of qualifying. The second stage of qualifying, sorry. XD Pro getting that fastest lap of 1:42.645. Then we've got I Fisher's in second. Mr. Formula 1 was third. Steve fourth. Onsu fifth. Then we had Czech in sixth. King 5 Panda is in seventh. And with Jay in eighth. Stringy getting a 5th place grid penalty for a collision with Floyd. And we've got Lewis in 10th. And the ones who will not be moving on will be Manuel Gray, who's going to be starting 11th. And we've got Mel Dave, who's going to be starting 12th. Chuck Norris 13th, 14th for 2 for him. And Floyd Pink, who's going to be starting at the back of the grid after receiving a 5th place grid penalty for a collision with Stringy. So he's going to be starting in P19, unfortunately. So now into the final stage of qualifying now. The 12-minute timer has just not long started. We're just waiting on some of the drivers to come out. We'll go see some activity down at Haas there. Oh no, that was Sauber, my mistake. So who is that Sauber? It is Jay here. Stepping a big toe there out of crossing the white line there. Now this is only going to be long enough for drivers to do 2 laps here, and no doubt there'll be a little bit of a quiet period, roughly around the 3 to 4 minutes left on the clock mark. You see the Sauber of Jay there weaving left and right, serpentining all over the place, trying to get as much heat as possible into them soft tyres, into them Red Bull Pirellis, the C4 compound, the second of the softest of the range. We'll see how the tyres are going to be gripping up on the car of Jay here in this third stage of qualifying. And as I was saying about the clouds, it seems to be that they've went and opened up a little, and now that sun is beaming down on the track, and they should be getting even better grip in this stage of qualifying now, with the track being that little bit higher in temperature. So let's see what the benchmark is going to be. Oh, he never activated the ERS as early as I would have thought. Done it actually coming out of the final corner, so you didn't really get much of a boost coming out of the final corner until he turned that on. And he started drawing the energy from that battery, from the energy store in that car. We'll hear that car is screaming its head off all the way down into turns 5, 6 and 7 of Lacombe. And he is unfortunately invalidated. So we've got the Haas of King 5 Panda who's going to be up next, and they're going to be the one setting the benchmark. But we've got McLaren of Czech just behind. I wonder if they were able to get a little bit of a toe, and whether that be helping them or hindering them. Now, unfortunately, we can't see what wing levels the drivers are doing, whether who's got a higher downforce setup and who's got a lower downforce setup. But we'll be able to just find that out on the straights and seeing who's going to be reaching them higher top end speeds. As usual, we'd be able to see how the rear wing is, what do you call it? How much of an angle it is at. Like we see on that Haas, it's kind of high, but then again, that is most likely going to be false, as we know it doesn't change. King 5 Panda puts in the fastest lap, 143.524, and then Czech smashes that with a 143.328, and then XD Pro smashes that, going even faster yet again in Q3, 142.478. Then we've got I Fisher's 142.785, Steve 142.894. So we're seeing a few drivers now managing to get into the 142. Stringy, is it going to make it another one? Nope, 143.804. Is Jay on a lap? Nope, he's on a cool down lap. On Sutho is on the flying lap, comes to the line of 142.860. So that's 4 drivers now into the 142s. See what Mr. Formula 1's going to be doing. Using an older battery there. down Paul Vieri. It's not going to get any boost here until they cross the line, but they still put it into third place, second row on the grid for the time being, a 142.832. All those in the chat, welcome. I'm glad to have you guys all along for the journey here in round 5, season 5 of WWR here in the Lauda tier. Stay with Jay. Is he going to be doing a lap? Nope, he's going to be jumping into the pit lane. There we go. We're going to have this little quiet period, I think, now. Who is on a lap? No driver is on a lap. I think everyone is going to be just returning to the pit lane now. We're going to just have this a little quiet period, and it annoys me how the timer is never constantly up. There we go, 5 minutes 25 on the clock now. There we go, we're just seeing all the drivers just coming back into the pit lane, except Mr. Formula 1, who is still making his way around Blanchimont now. Well, Blanchimont now. There we go, done that a little bit earlier there. Oh, and Mr. Formula 1's going again. Wanting to get another lap in, but are they going to be able to get this lap time in and be able to get around it again to jump into the pits? I don't think so. And they've got a little bit of traffic there. Not able to get right over to the right hand side there as they would have wanted there. Now down Eau Rouge and up the hill into Radion. And there's still a little increase in elevation here. The highest point of the track right about now. The home section being right up at the top of the track. In terms of elevation, as you see, going downhill now around Beaurivage into Jackie X. I thought it was the way to go and dip a toe out there onto the gravel, but manages to keep it in. Using that curb on the right hand side there to try and turn the car as much as possible there. Now down into the Fania chicane here. Oh, these curbs here, you want to be very, very careful on these thin curbs, as they're not the best to end up hitting in, but like Mr. Formula 1 just done there, it's going to end up bucking your lap up a little. We'll see how he's going to be able to do it. Unsure whether it's going to be a good time or not, if he's going to be jumping into the pit lane. We'll try and see if we can get that marker thing up. Nope, it's not going to be coming up just on the telemetry, just on the right hand side. Nope, he's going to be jumping into the pit lane. I think that was the wisest thing to do. He's just going to get a warning there for speeding into the pit lane. King Fi Panda coming to the line to start their flying lap. Of course, they were the first driver to set a lap, and now they're going to be the first driver to set a lap in these finishing stages. We've got Jay just behind. Well, stay on board with Jay, is he's still to get a time onto the board with 2 minutes and 40 on the clock now. Not many minutes left, not many seconds on the clock, and Jay invalidates again. That is really, really unfortunate. He's going to have to go again, and what we'll do is we'll stay off board with him, and maybe he's getting a little bit of a stage fright maybe, and I know he's going to be either watching this now or watching it later on, and having a little chuckle to himself, or it's going to be really annoyed. It's going to be one or the other. Maybe a commentator's curse there, but right now we've got King Fi Panda, only driver, well, the first driver to set a lap, only driver on their flying lap at the moment. Every other driver now out of the source and just either coming down into Pouillon or into Eau Rouge, and that is going to be all the drivers that are yet to settle up in these final stages. That's Jay. Oh, Jay's just slowed right up there, just managing to make sure, just trying to make sure he's got enough fuel in the car to start another lap. King Panda, though, the one who has got enough to finish a lap, goes P6, 143.081. It's fastest of the drivers in the 143. Now we'll see who is going to be up first in this gaggle of cars here. And it's, who's that that's just behind there? Is that Williams of Onsu? Yep. So honestly, we'll be hoping to try and pick up a little bit of a toe, I think. The thing is, that's going to hinder them in sector 2. And coming into the bus stop section, that's dependent on if Fisher's invalidates or not. Oh, and that was unusual. We've just seen bits of carbon fibre there shooting up as they were bouncing off over the curb. Now, who's going to be the next one up? Who was just on board with? Yep, Fisher's got a cast of King 5 Panda. I think they're just on none right now. Yep, they're on none. You see a big lock up there. That was from the McLaren of Czech there, I think. Going into Lecombe, whether that be Czech or Steve. And it looks like Fisher's has actually increased that gap to Onsu now. So I don't think Onsu's on a good lap here, only 19 thousandths of a second quicker. Just to prove that by the slimmest of margins, then that could end up putting them into third place right now. But Fisher's looks like he's on track to set the pole time. We'll see as they're just around in the final couple of corners. And now to the line. This is an actual really good time here, 142.232. XD Pro now to the line. They're up on their time, 142.454. Just not managing to be able to get quick enough there. Who is up next? It's going to be Steve. Yep, Steve, and then followed by Czech right behind. And Czech pointing the wrong way now. Steve puts it in the third with a 142.575. And then we had the Mr. Formula 1 stay forward with 142.574. Same as Steve, they both done the exact same time, just a fraction right after each other. And Steve will rightfully get that third place after not being the first driver to set that lap time. And then we'll check, we won't manage to get 7th, didn't manage to improve, so it has to stay 7th. Now that is the end of the third stage of qualifying. And we've seen over double the amount of drivers, almost 3 times the amount of drivers getting into the 142s. In this session, we've got Fisher's there, 142.232, smashing time from the Red Bull driver. Then we've got the Alpine of XD Pro in second, the one who dominated Q1 and Q2. Steve in third. Then we had Mr. Formula 1 in fourth, Onsu fifth, King 5 Panda sixth. Then we had Czech in seventh, Lewis in eighth. Ninth was Stringy and Jay, unfortunately not managing to get a time on the board after invalidating his 2 laps that he went out to do. But now we are going to be moving on to the main event. The race here, and looking at the clouds, it is not the sun splitting the track just a few moments ago. We're just going to be getting ready, waiting for the drivers to select their strategies, select their fuel loads, and if they're going to be making any minor adjustments to the car, of course, you can only change the couple of components, well, not components, but like your front wing angle and such. But yeah, we're just waiting on that. We are going to be having a formation lap before this 22 lap race. So we'll be able to see what tyres everyone is going to be on in the as we're going to be getting ready. Now we're just moments away from these drivers setting off, but of course, oh wait, we'll have a few minutes break, don't we? So I always forget about this in this league. So we're going to be going at 9:02. So that'll be in just a couple of moments. So I'll be back with you. Oh, so just seen a message there from Floydie saying it's raining early, but it won't let him change to inters. Oh, so strategies are getting changed here, and it looks like it's going to be raining in the early stages of in the early stages of this race. So I reckon everyone's going to be, yeah, like Benji Bucket just said, it's going to be chaos. First lap's going to be fun. Yep, exactly. I will say I cannot wait for this one. It's going to be a good one, folks. So stay tuned. We've got 1 minute 60 seconds here before we're going to be getting underway for the formation lap, and we could see drops of rain starting. Right, folks, here we are. We're about to get underway. We should have a little countdown. Since the rain 5 minutes into the race. Oh, now let me see 2 seconds here, folks. Let me have a wee look. Oh, so every second we're seeing the time on the tyre strategies go up, and that is going to definitely signal that there's going to be rain coming soon. This is going to be fun. And we've seen the rain starting just yet. Nope, it's still clear on track, that is. This is going to be a little bit of a fun one. We've seen Chuck Norris on the hards, mediums for Mel Dave and Man Like Ray. Everyone else onto the softs. I think the softs will be the better strategy here if there's rain coming early. It's not going to be ideal going onto the hards or the mediums. You're going to end up getting swallowed up by the pack. Fisher's wanting to get this going. and get started, but there's Floyd just coming through the final bit of Erosion Radion up to the start of the Kemmel Straight, and you can see Fisher just coming down into Beau Rivage. Bexon boys fell right behind, unsure what happened there, possibly spun out at turn 1. We'll see if Floyd's going to be a gentleman and let Bexon boy back past into their where they're going to be starting. You know, some people do that, but of course in real F1 there isn't any overtaking on the formation lap, so if you mess up you'll end up starting from the back of the grid. Usually, I'm sure it was properly worked, I always forget, since it's never happened really before. Let's say Max Verstappen, not even on the formation lap, just going to the grid. Well, at Hungary a couple of years ago, we'll say that was a massive engineering feat. And we're seeing the rain starting now. The rain is starting on this formation lap now. What we ended up seeing at one stage before, just seen actually a few years ago, at the Hungary race a couple of years ago, we've seen actually Lewis Hamilton being the only driver to line up on the grid. Everyone else ended up jumping into the pit lane for, I think, not sure if it was dries or inters. I think it was for the intermediate tyres, as they were just getting ready to get started. But now, we are away to get started. We see Fisher's pointing that car over to the left-hand side of the track, right-hand side of your screens. Right now, that is. There we go. We've got 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, and 5 red lights, and we're away for round 5 here at Spa. Fisher's manages to get a great launch there, gets over to the left-hand side and blocks off XD Pro, managing to maintain that lead. We had the Williams there of Honsu having a little sneak up the inside, having a little peek up XD Pro. Ferrari of Steve not managing to stay alongside that RB, but going too wide is Lewis and man like Ray. Stringy, and manages to get up. Man like Ray and Lewis battling out as they're going down this Kemmel Straight, and it looks like Lewis has got that better speed there. He's used up quite a lot of his battery there, and Stringy getting up past man like Ray, going into the Lacombe section. Now looking a bit further back, seeing if anyone else is going to be going for a move there, and Operator has unfortunately left the session. If anybody's able to invite him back, Xbox, it would be greatly appreciated. Chuck Norris is out of this Grand Prix and has crashed at Beau Rivage, and we've got a virtual safety car. These guys will be thankful, and a win if the intermediates are going to be going on this early. Operator, unfortunately I can't invite you. And Chuck Norris leaving the session, that is quite heartbreaking, unfortunately. Managing to make it up into the second stage of qualifying, and then unfortunately being eliminated from this Grand Prix and having to jump out of that silver there. Now the driver's just coming down Paul Fieri and into Blanchimont, now into the final section. Now we're going to see drivers jumping into the pits for the intermediates. Is anyone going to take that gamble? I think it is too early to call. Then again, if they manage to get in right, then they could end up being good. But there we go. But the DRS has been enabled, so it's not going to be wet enough just yet. But we'll see. Fisher's managing to get a good launch there off that restart, and is already over a second ahead, and so that means XD Pro is going to be vulnerable to Onsu in that Williams. Onsu is going to have that DRS, and the DRS strength is all going to go all the way down to 6th place. We're going to see any drivers go for a launch. Here we go, we've got the Ferrari of Lewis going for it on Stringy and moving up into 7th place there. Nice driving, making sure to use the DRS to its fullest. and managed to get that overtake done going into Lacombe. Oh, you see Trucker and Floyd battling out with Bexenboy, and we've got Floyd on the outside of Trucker here, and we see Bexenboy having a wee peek up the inside. We've seen if we could get that Aston Martin up the inside of that Haas, but the Haas of Floyd managing to be ever so cautious there and managing to hold on to that 16th place, up 3 places. And oh, we see Buckle has spun that pull-on and is into the gravel there, managing to get it back out there and get back going again, but slips down to the back of the field. 18th place now. Looking on at Steve, he's right close to the back of the RB and is now moving past him. We see just up ahead there, we've got Onsu and XD Pro going around the outside of Bonchemont. Absolutely beautiful move there from that Williams, who's now up 3 places. And Steve also manages to make it up past that Ferrari now. Smashing driver from the smashing overtake from these drivers. Oh, and we see XD Pro make a blunder there coming out of turn 19, struggling to get on the throttle and ends up losing another place to Steve, who's now up 2 places, back up to 3rd place after a bit of a terrible start, but they're getting a couple of good overtakes there, and well, one good overtake and one managing to make fullest advantage of another driver making an error. And now XD Pro, is he going to have that DRS? Yes, he does. So he's going to have that advantage, and the advantage goes all the way down. Check. Now looking to try and make a move on Stringy, but Stringy now using that ERS to try and pull away and just try and keep ahead into 8th place after starting in 14th. It wasn't the best after getting that 5 place grid penalty from qualifying, so didn't manage to make anything up from that. Well, he's managed to make up 6 places from that, sorry. Looking up now, Onsu 1.8 seconds behind I Fishers for that lead. I Fishers managing to do quite well to pull away. Never got up there in Q1 and in Q2 and ended up dominating Q3, where it truly mattered for the top 10 anyway. And there's now 1.8, 1.9 seconds ahead. Steve and Onsu going side by side up to Blanchimont, and Steve now makes the pass and is up into 2nd place, but we see Onsu having a wee look there, trying to see if he could get a space on the outside there going into the final, and everybody's jumping into the pits now. It is now getting wet enough. How many drivers are going to be jumping in? Mr. Formula 1 stays out. So does RB of Stringy in there, and see just behind we've got Lewis, Check, and we see Check actually going up the inside, going up into 3rd place. Is it going to be the right time to pit or not? Is I Fisher's going to end up being overtaken here after these pit stops? Is the overcut going to be better? I don't think it is. Looking at that rain, these cars are struggling getting up to Radion there. And is DRS been disabled? No, it hasn't. It hasn't been disabled just yet. And now Lewis getting a good launch coming out of Radion there. Now is setting up to make up 2 spaces here. Nope. But Jack throws it back up the inside on turn 7 there, and manages to move up. Doesn't manage to move up, but Lewis goes deep, and now into Beau Rivage. Check is looking like he's going to be able to make a move and get back up to his place just there, ahead of that Ferrari. Now we'll have a wee quick peek and see how who pit. So Bexenboy's yet to pit, so has Floyd still yet to pit. And it looks like Bexenboy being just overtaken. These guys did pit on the right lap, judging by it. Mr. Formula 1's going to drop right back. After sitting in 3rd place, he was only about 5 seconds at most off of the lead. But now, looking at this, Bexenboy's just fallen back in this weather. It's just got real bad in this lap, and it's just absolutely pouring down. I wonder if we're going to be seeing wets here. Aye, Fisher's how late is he able to brake? Quite late. And a couple of drivers actually staying out another lap. Are they gambling on a safety car or such? Or is the rain only going to be on for a few laps? But then again, even if it is only on for a few laps, it's still going to be... is it still going to be the best thing to stay out? Of course, if they do end up just getting overtaken a little, then... and they still manage to stay with them at the very least, then they could actually be up for a blinder. But we just seen man like Gray move up into first place on check there, who's down into second now, and we've got I Fishers here on these intermediate tyres, breezing down the neck of these two in the lead. And you see, he's just trying to, you could see he's got that better grip than that McLaren on them intermediate tyres, just managing to absolutely push the rain out of his way, and is now into second place, chasing down the leader of Man Like Ray. 2-4 and been overtaken there by Steve and Onsu just there after going that a little bit wide at Pouillon, just getting offline there. You see this rain is actually getting worse here. You see the Alpines both swapping places now. Well, Fisher's managing to pull a gap of 1.5 seconds. How long is this rain going to stay on? Man like Gray getting a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, and of course that is going to happen if you're on these dry tyres. And he stays out again. Now, do these drivers know something that we don't? Is it just going to be a little light shower for a couple of laps? I remember it being something like that before in one of the races I had done a few years ago. Of course, it was in China, fitted the soft tyres, went onto the hards, and then there was rain that came on like lap 8, I think it was, for 2 laps. Everyone pitting for the intermediates. I just stayed out for them 2 laps and managed to make it. But right now we see Steve and Onsu making it past Manuel Gray, while Jay gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. And we see Steve actually going off the track there and ends up losing the place to Onsu. XD Pro now getting past Manuel Gray. Manuel Gray is just dropping down the field. And we forgot to change that to interval right now. 2.4 seconds the gap to Onsu. To man like Gray in check is about 4.7 to 6 seconds. To man like Gray it was 5 seconds now. So you can see how much more powerful and grippier these intermediate tyres are right now. We've seen King Fi Panda just whizzing up the inside, not usually an overtaking spot at Fania, but it manages to make it work. Of course, with this wet weather, it does make it easier to make an overtake. Now we'll go with the Manuel Gray make a small error going onto the Paul Fieri straight. Gets that tail end out just a little bit too much and ends up allowing King Fly Panda to get past. Is DRS still enabled? Yep, it is. So DRS is still enabled right now, and these drivers are still staying out. And I think they've made that gamble already. And going on board, we're still seeing, it looks like the rain is actually lightening up now. So, Manuel Gray, have they done an absolutely spectacular strategy here by staying out? We've got Czech, who's just 1 second behind. Is he going to manage to slip into that DRS window? He's using that battery to try and get to the detection point. Oh, and you see Steve overtake Onsu there for that second place. Nicely done. Looking at Jay now making it past Czech. Trucker getting a 3-second time penalty there for exceeding track limits. 2.6 seconds sets the gap. 2.5 seconds the gap now to second place from Fisher, who's sitting up there in first Jay right on the back of man like Gray. These intermediates are proven to be quite useful right now, but look at that. There is not a drop of rain right now falling from the sky. 9.5 seconds the gap to the leader, with man like Gray being overtaken by Jay. There he lay now in 7th place for man like Gray. Now looking on, we'll keep an eye on this leader gap between man like Ray and I Fishers. Now I wonder is the drivers are jumping into the pits. Man like Ray is going to be taking the lead of this Grand Prix if everyone else boxes into the pits, and yes they are. And man like Ray pulls off a spectacular strategy actually, and is now in the lead of this Grand Prix yet again. And same with Czech, who's now only sitting 1.2 seconds, 1.1 seconds the gap now to man like Ray. Are they going to be able to get the DRS? Nope, I don't think they are. 10-second time penalty for Jay for crossing the white line. That is absolutely just... I hate that when that happens. It's happened to me a good few times before. Of course, I think it was a 5-second penalty before, I'm unsure. But there we go, we see Stringy there managing to get past Lewis for that 12th place. And now we'll keep an eye on the time. Oops. There we go, we've seen Lewis, they're using that DRS and now moving up into 12th place, back up there. We'll keep an eye on the time between Mr. Formula 1 and Czech there, who's just ahead. Is Mr. Formula 1 going to be able to keep up? We've got 2.4, I'm just behind there, 2.3 seconds sits the gap, and it's closing ever quicker at 10th every corner there. So now the dry tyres are coming into a world of their own right now. But wait a minute, we've got iFishers there looking for a move. They have been absolutely storming this field today, and now up into 4th place. Not too far behind Mr. Formula 1, who's most likely going to end up getting DRS off of as they come up Radion. You see 2-4 jumping into the pits now off them soft compound tyres. And there's going to be jumping onto a set of hards, I assume. Nope, he's going on to a set of mediums. 1.3 seconds sits the gap between Mr. Formula 1 and the Fishers right now. So he's not going to be able to get that DRS, but he's still gaining. You go see Mr. Formula 1 getting that DRS, and that actually managed to help him quite a bit to delay the inevitable. And I'm actually surprised he didn't pit this lap. Is the rain actually going to come back? I don't think so, with drivers jumping onto the mediums again and such, on the hard compound tyres there. And Fisher's now on the inside going into pull on, and he manages to get the overtake, and we see Steve there having a wee peek, trying to keep up with Mr. Formula, with I Fishers here. So he's going to have to get past really quickly there, and he manages to make it nice and clean as they were coming around Fania there. Now Steve could see that Red Bull, and he's got Czech just ahead of him, and Czech on them old soft compound tyres up against these yellow walled mediums, just a lap old. So mediums will be the tyre to be on right now. Oh, and there's a bit of contact there, and that looked like a bit of a recreation, but swapped places there from Austria. Wait a second, has Czech got damage to that front wing? Yes, he has. Czech has actually got damage to that front wing, and still hasn't pit. That is quite unusual. Man like right now being overtaken by Fishers there. Bexon boy, 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Now, who is going to manage to come out on top in these top three here? Steve now making it past one, and now two cars. We see them going three wide almost there, and now the Ferrari of Steve now moves up into first place, managing to get double overtake. They're absolutely smashing their check, getting a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Multiple wardens there. We're on lap 10 now. We've got 12 laps left after this. As soon as they cross that line, we'll have 12 laps left. Jay right on the back of King 5 Panda. Is he going to be looking at a move here? Nope, he isn't. Check and XD Pro swapping places. Check on them old soft tyres, not proving to be any use to him now. And I think it might be a good time for him to pit, especially with having that front wing damage. And there we go, see Onsu there, managing to get cleanly alongside, and is going to have that outside line going around the Blanchimont. There we go, still side by side there. Oh no, oh look, Check is pitting now, yep. Best thing for him to do. And see man like right, managing to protect that position of 4th place right now, but that could all change. He's going to have to try and get within that 1 second DRS range of XD Pro ahead, but he's not going to be getting the grip that he needs out of La Source. Now I could see that Onsu is about to get an overtake done, but right now is Fisher going to be close enough? Nope, he isn't. Onsu though is going to be close enough on a defenceless man like Ray. Is he going to manage to do it? Nope, he's just managed to be that too far ahead. Jito flying past King 5 Panda there and moving up into that 6th position. We've got Lewis under attack from the RB of Mr. Formula 1. And then we've got just behind that, we've got Mel Dave overtaking Check on the inside, going into Lecombe, and moves up into 12th place. Mr. Formula 1 up into 9th place, passing Lewis there in that Ferrari there. Now looking on at these drivers are battling out. I'm actually surprised that man like Ray still hasn't pit. Looking on at the difference in speed there, he might be up 6 places, but he's still yet to pit. Of course, if all goes well, then if a safety car comes out or such, then he could be in for it. But there we go, we see Onsu being overtaken man like Ray there, who's on them 10-lap old medium compound tyres. The only driver who's still yet to make a pit stop. And they're almost drifting into the pit lane there as they were coming out of turn 18. Now looking on at Fishers, are they going to manage to reclaim this first place back off of Steve? Nope, still not getting close enough. You just seen Stringy be overtaken there by Mr. Formula 1 for that 8th place. But is Stringy going to be able to come back? He's got Lewis and 2 for him just behind him. He's jumping into that slipstream, and we could see him moving to the outside, and it's going to take that outside line going into Lecombe. We see just behind there the Alpine of 2 for him moving past Lewis and up into 10th place. 2 overtakes, but looking now, 2 for him just managing to finalise it as they were coming past the corner of turn 6 there, and now up into 10th position. Oh, we see Buckle and Trucker swapping places now for that 17th position, and looking on Buckle right on the exhaust of that RB, has to lift off just that little bit. Lewis getting a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits yet again. Trucker using that overtake, using that DRS, and now moving up into 17th place. Looked like Buckle was away to try and launch it down the inside there. We've seen a yellow flag in sector 2. That was Czech. And checks round into the wall. Are we going to have a VSC or that? And there he is, he's struggling to get that car pointing the right way again, and is now being overtaken by his teammate of Operator. Now just waiting for drivers to pass, and is now back on the track, down in 16th place. Oh, we've seen the change for the lead. My mistake, guys. I just missed that. Now, Fishers is now up into the lead. Now we've got Jay and man like Ray battling out here before the DRS is even opened. Jay has managed to get that overtake done nicely. Now up into 5th place. Man like Ray is unfortunately not being the quickest on the track. Check. Oh, he's retired in the pit lane. That was Owen Fisher's getting that 3-second time penalty. That puts him down into 2nd for the time being, technically. We'll have a wee quick look at the penalties situation right now. We're seeing Jay with 13 seconds worth of time penalties. Unfortunately, one will be for 3 seconds will be for exceeding track limits, and the other 10 will be for I think that was crossing the white line or speeding in the pit lane. It was crossing the white line on the exit. Man like Ray being overtaken yet again, so we've seen Fishers get have a 3-second time penalty. Also XD Pro, Man like Ray, and Buckle and Trucker all with 1 3-second time penalty. Stringy, Lewis and Operator with 2 3-second time penalties, adding up to 6 seconds. And Man like Ray, just as I was saying that, now puts himself on the 3-second time penalty list. Now looking on, we can see Steve ever close to the back of Fishers in that Red Bull. Buckle getting another 3-second time penalty, and now Steve moving up into that 1st place using that DRS, getting it done before the DRS is even opened, getting a great launch there out of Radion. Now we'll go further down and see who is close. We've got Lewis and 2 Forum right next to each other. Lewis managing to get an excellent launch there, using that battery, and gets the overtake done before they even get the DRS opened. Trucker getting another 3-second time penalty, and that is not going to be helping him at all. And now Buckle could be looking for a move if he doesn't get too heavy on the right foot there. We see the leaders just coming around Campos now into the end of sector 2, sorry, moving on to sector 3. Looking on right now at Buckle, seeing if he's going to be able to get this overtake done before the end of the Kemmel straight. Moves into that slipstream, and Trucker takes that left-hand side of the track to try and get a better line. Big lock up there from Buckle going into Lecombe there, but still manages to keep the position, and now up into 16th place. Mr. Formula 1 now getting past Man like Ray. Man like Ray really wanting to stick to this one-stop strategy, even if it isn't going to work for him. Jay getting another 3-second time penalty, now sitting with 16 seconds worth. Fishers, is they going to get that DRS? No, they aren't. Man like Ray goes wide into the gravel there at La Source, and that is going to end up costing him, as Stringy is now half a second almost right behind the back of that Aston Martin as they come up Radion. And oh, we're seeing yellow flag in sector 3. Who is that? That is Buckle, who's around. Move back down to Man like Ray, looking on Stringy, and they make contact, and the Alpine of 2 Forum has been collected, who was looking up the inside, and is now into the gravel. Buckle has retired from this Grand Prix, and is that going to be a safety car? Yes, it is. Virtual safety car. And now Man like Ray is going to be able to jump into the pits and get it a little bit cheekier and will only lose one place on 2 Forum, depending on if 2 Forum has damage. Yep, 2 Forum is going to be pitting also. And we could say that I think Jay is most certainly going to pit right now, as I think it would be the best thing to do, to try and get rid of that penalty. It's not going to be as bad now that the VSC is appearing. There we go, iFishers is into the pit lane. What tyres are they going to be going on? They are on the soft tyres right now. Oh no, they just went on to the soft tyres now. Jay actually staying out. Not going to get past the Red Bull of iFishers. Still stays in that 5th position. Operator getting a 3-second time penalty. And we see that the VSC has now ended. 2 Forum has retired from this Grand Prix. Is that in the pit lane? Yep, it is. That's unfortunate there. So we've seen another retiree. So we're now down to 15 drivers here. And looking on, we see Lewis getting past Stringy there and moving up into 8th position. Mel Davis just behind that. Unfortunately, not close enough to make a move. And this is going to be the closest battle on track right now, the battle for 8th place between Lewis, Stringy and Mel Dave, all within a second of the car ahead. Now rounding, pulling Steve 3.9 seconds in the lead. Even if he gets a penalty now, it's still going to maintain him that lead, and he'll still be able to win by 0.8 seconds if things stay the way they stand. Right now though, no penalty for him. XD Pro has got himself one. Same with iFishers, who's on them soft tyres and should be going a lot quicker than the cars ahead, who are on them 9-lap old medium tyres, and they'll be going to the end. Fisher's not really making the best gamble right now. And I think it may have been a little bit of a silly move to go for them so close to the end. Now we're on board with Mel Dave, and we see Stringy and Lewis just battling out there, going into turn 1. And now the prime overtaking opportunity is just about to come up. As King 5 Panda got the DRS, no he hasn't. But who will have the DRS is Stringy and Mel Dave. And he's actually going off the track there almost to get past Lewis there, who's giving him a major squeeze. And that has allowed Mel Dave to move up. Also, Lewis down 2 positions, Stringy and Mel Dave up to 8th and 9th. Lewis down in 10th now. We'll look further on at the back. We've got Man Like Ray, who's on them fresh, soft tyres. Is it going to be enough for him? No. And Floyd is just taking it easy right now. Not going for any overtakes. King 5 Panda on the tail of Jay here. 7/10 of a second. Stringy now getting a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Now at the end of this lap, we're about to go on to the 18th lap, and that means there's only 5 laps remaining in this Grand Prix, less than 10 minutes. Stringy now being overtaken by Mel Dave there for that 8th position. Is Stringy going to be having another go at trying to get past, going into turn 18? Nope, too far back. We'll look further on right now at King 5 Panda, who is right on the tail of the Silver ahead of Jay, both on 10-lap old hard tyres. They both came into the pits at the exact same lap. still fighting with each other, and it looks like King 5 Panda is going to be able to get the move done, moving to the right hand side and using that DRS to get up into 5th place. Is Jay going to have an answer for that? After operator just gets a 3-second time penalty. We'll move further down to see Stringy having a wee look at the outside of Mel Dave there, with Lewis just behind, not able to make a move. And these drivers real close to each other. Operators left the session, unfortunately ended up disconnecting yet again. He disconnected in Q2 and he's just done it again there, unfortunately. Man like right now overtaking Floyd there. Big tyre advantage there on them soft compound tyres over the 10 lap old hards. Jay on the back of that Haas, still these two battling out for 5th position, both on the same age of tyres. Mr. Formula 1 is on 8 lap old mediums, just behind the gap, 1.6 seconds to Jay. Now is Jay going to try and throw up the inside there? No, he isn't. He's going to wait, and I'm unsure if he's going to be going for it here into La Source, or he's going to be waiting until the Camels strike the best overtaking opportunity. We'll be able to soon find out what he is going to do. And yep, he's going to be waiting until going into a comb, and that is what he's going to be waiting for. He's seen King 5 Panda getting a little bit too heavy on that right foot and getting a little bit skitterish coming out of La Source, and this is going to be what Jay's wanting. Is you can see him not even using any battery. That slipstream is so powerful, and now moves up into 5th place before even getting to the braking zone. Right now Stringy looking like the best one to make an overtake right now, moves to the outside and is side by side with Mel Dave and goes the long way around and doesn't get it finalised until the 2nd corner of Lacombe. Now up into 8th place. Mel Dave looking for an opportunity going down into Beau Rivage there, and looking on at Lewis, looking every which way he can at trying to get past, desperately wanting that 8th place. We're on lap 19 right now, about to go into lap 20. If you are Steve, that is. And there we go, see him coming across the line to start lap 20. He's only got 3 laps left to go. And now he makes that 1 corner less as he just comes around La Source. Look further down at King 5 Panda and Jay. Is Jay going to manage to maintain that 5th place and stay ahead? The DRS is proven to not say that. Mel Dave having to go up the outside. Is he going to be later on the brakes than Stringy? Nope, but there we go. We see Stringy. Lewis having to go at Mel Dave, and is now Mel Dave having to go up the outside of Stringy now, and is going to take that inside line now after Stringy went wide, and Lewis makes it past also. Lewis in the prime position to move up into that 8th position. Now man like Craig getting a 3-second time penalty, down Rouge, up the hill into Radion, and now DRS open, and Lewis moves up into 8th place. Stringy following him past Mel Dave there, and now up into 9th place. Mel Dave down 2 places. These guys have been battling out like crazy for that 8th place. Now into Beau Rivage. Steve still extending that gap to 6.7 seconds now over XD Pro in the Alpine. Absolutely blasting it now, and them medium tyres actually proving to be quite good. 19.3 seconds sits the gap to iFisher, who pit just a few laps ago on them onto them soft tyres when the VSC came out. Didn't provide to be the best idea. Of course, he ended up sacrificing a lot of time there. I think he expected everyone else to jump into the pits, but him and Manuel Gray ended up being the only drivers to jump in. Now Manuel Gray is under threat from Floyd Pink for that 11th place. And now Jay could be under threat here from King Phi Panda in that Haas, as he's sitting only half a second behind. Floyd Pink now getting past man like Ray. And that was going on to the Bulgaari straight. Jay getting another 3-second time penalty. This has not been his race. Looking on at the penalty situation, he's got 19 seconds of penalties as Panda makes his way past. Looking on right now, it's 27 seconds. He's going to end up moving down only one position, fortunately enough. Stringy and Lewis now swapping places for 8th. We'll see right now, Floyd is the biggest gainer right now, up 8 places. Stringy up 6 places. We've only had 4 retirees in this race as of yet. We're on lap 21, the penultimate lap of this Grand Prix. We're only going to be having one more go around, as Steve is now coming up to the bus stop section and is a way to move on to the final lap of this Grand Prix. We've just seen Stringy there getting a 3-second time penalty, another one. That now puts him up to 15 seconds. That's going to definitely bump him down to the back of Mel Dave. Mel Dave actually sitting in the best position right now. You could just watch on as these drivers battle it out. And he's going to end up being penalty free. And you see Lewis now having a wee go up the inside, going into Blanchimont, but lifts off and hits the brakes and is now going for it. And is this going to be the right idea to go for the move now? Because this is going to be leaving him vulnerable down the Kemmel straight. But of course it's not going to really matter. Mel Dave having a wee look and trying to find any which way. Stringy giving Lewis a little tap and ends up spinning out almost. And now Stringy down into 10th place, and Mel Dave's not going to be able to catch up, is he? Or is he? Thought that gap was going to be a bit too much, but using that slipstream and the DRS and a lot of battery, now is going up the inside of Lewis into Lacombe and now moves up into 8th position. But right now, oh, what's that? Oh, that's just Trucker getting off the line. Steve now, just rounding Blanchimont. He's only got 2 corners left to go. Stringy and Lewis still swapping places there, and I think Lewis has actually made an error. But now, Steve comes across the line to win round 5, the Spa Grand Prix, my Jesus. And then we've got XD Pro, who comes home in 2nd, Onsu in 3rd. And then we've got I Fishers in that Red Bull rounding the corner and coming across the line in 4th place. Jay and Mr. Formula 1 battling it out. But of course it's not going to really matter for Mr. Formula 1, who's going to be moving up into that 6th position. I Fishers gamble not providing results, and King Phi Panda coming home in 5th, then Mr. Formula 1 Jay, and Jay being overtaken by Mel Dave, who had no penalties. Lewis moves up to 9th after Stringy had penalties. Man like Craig getting a 3-second time penalty right near the end, and that is not going to bother him. But Floyd comes across the line in 11th. Then we've got man like Ray struggling to get across the line, and if he doesn't get across the line quickly, that could allow Bexon Boy to get the position if it was less than 2 seconds. And please don't tell me you're just seeing a driver retire, because I think I just did, and that's going to be providing these standings to be a bit of a nightmare at the end. And there you have it, folks. There is the podium of Steve, XD Pro and Onsu. Steve getting the fastest lap of 144.461. Then we had XD Pro in second, Onsu third, iFishers in fourth. Unfortunately, that gamble not paying off in the end. Then we had King 5 Panda at fifth, Mr. Formula 1 came home in sixth, Mel Dave seventh, Jay in eighth, unfortunately getting 19 seconds worth of penalties, bumped him down quite a bunch there. Lewis in ninth, then we had 10th for Stringy Floyd Pink, up from 19th, up 8 places to 11th. Then we had Man Like Ray in 12th, 13th for Bexon Boy. Then we had Operator, who unfortunately didn't make it to the end, did disconnect, and we had Trucker in 15th. The drivers who ended up retiring from this Grand Prix were Two Form, Buckle, Jack, and Chuck Norris. They unfortunately did not finish this Grand Prix. So there we have it, folks. That is the end of round 5. And we'll have a little look, and I think it's Monaco next week, which will be I will be doing solo, as I believe my co-commentator. Oh no, it's Spain. It's Spain next. So we're going to be at the Circuit de Catalunya next week at 8 o'clock on Saturday. So stay, pop back and stay tuned for that, 8 p.m. next Saturday. So from me, it is peace out.